Good morning and welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspiration. Glad you could join me here today as always. And yes, today is a rainy day in St. Louis, Missouri today, and my bag is squeaking. I wasn't punching it, but it's kind of moving around here a little bit. Let's stop that, get that noise out of here. Yes, I'm up late this morning, so it's raining. We're not working. We have outside work, and I have inside work too, but I can't start a job and not be able to finish it. In case the sun comes back out, we will have to go back to the outside job, but that's an outside issue. Today's topic is going to be God. Yes, the taboo topic, politics and religion. Well, I'm not really going to talk about religion too much. Everyone has their own view of God, and there are many different religions. Is one right and one wrong? I don't think so. But then again, some people do. And actually, for thousands of years, people have killed people over it. It's amazing, isn't it? I think most of the religions talk about a God of love, but yet then we kill our brother over religion. Christians have done that too. So if you're thinking about some of the other religions that do that, we've been just as guilty as anyone. I don't really consider myself a Christian. I just say that because I was born in the U.S. and most of us here that were born here, at least in my time, were considered to be Christians. We were considered to be a Christian nation. And we've done some heinous things as Christians too. But I'm not talking about that today. We all make mistakes. All people, religions, nations, countries, everyone makes mistakes. Yes, we're all born sinners. Sinners. Now that's a word that has been grossly misused. The word sin comes from an Anglo-Saxon word, I believe, which means to miss the mark in archery. Well, are we born sinners? Yes, because we're all born to make mistakes. Are we a mistake when we're born? No, we're not. But we're going to make mistakes. So yes, in that respect, we are sinners. We are going to make mistakes. If we never made mistakes, we would never learn anything. What have you learned the most from? Your failures or your successes? If you haven't learned from your failures, you need to start doing that right now, because failure teaches you a great lesson. Read biographies of some of the most successful people in the world, and you will see that they are some of the greatest failures in the world. So, without failure, where would we be? Failure, failure. Failure is the road to success. The road to success is paved with failure, or mistakes if you like. So there's nothing wrong with being a sinner, a mistake maker. Actually, it's a great thing. In school, they teach us that failure is bad, but actually failure is good. If it weren't for failure, I would not be doing this today. I would have succeeded in something else, and I would not be speaking to you here today. Maybe some of you wish I wouldn't have been here today. No, I'm joking with you. Hopefully, if you're watching me, you do enjoy what I talk about, and more than that, you gain value from it, and it can help you in your life. So if you join a certain religion, you are actually accepting that perception of God, that group of people's perception of God. You're not actually forming your own, you're using someone else's. And that works for a lot of people because they don't want to think. They don't want to contemplate. Most people think they think, but they just remember, or they regurgitate what someone else has put into their mind, especially today with all the media, social, everywhere you go. I was getting gas the other day and they have a TV right there on the pump. It's like I had to walk to the other end of the car to get away from it. And if you travel in the airport, you'll see it's damn hard to get away from the TV. Radios, everything blaring into your head. You may be ignoring it, but your subconscious picks up everything. And that is a program of someone else's agenda they're trying to get into your head. Now, why don't you stop and program your own mind with your own agenda? Do you want to stop, take a few minutes, and discover what your agenda is? What is your agenda? That's just it. Most people don't know. They go with someone else's. That's why we have what we call the herd mentality. People don't want to think for themselves. It's difficult to think for yourself. It's much easier to follow someone else's lead. But then the leaders are the ones that end up being the people that other people want to be like. Other people admire, respect, or envy, or try to hate on, depending on what type of person you are. Don't be a hater. If you want to be a follower, that's fine. We need followers. If I did not have people following me and helping me, I would not be doing this today. I am not able to do this by myself. My kids taught me how to do all this. I have to be humble enough to realize that they know more about this than I do. It doesn't bother me. I didn't know what a hashtag was. I didn't know what a thumbnail was. And I could go on and on about all the things that I don't know about YouTube and videos. But I'm learning. And I learn from the younger people because they grew up with this. It's second nature to them, but not for me. So we must be humble. And the same way with God. I'm always willing to listen to someone else's perception of God. Who's to say who's right? Maybe no one's wrong. Maybe everyone's right. I think about it this way. Let's use Will Smith for an example. Most of you know Will Smith. He's a famous actor. Okay, a good actor too. Well, maybe you perceive him as a bad actor. But the point is, there's only one Will Smith, at least in this dimension, in this reality. Okay? But the way I see and the way I perceive Will Smith is probably different from you. I think he's a great actor. I didn't think much if I handled the deal with his wife when she was having an affair on him, but I'm not him. I'm not walking in his shoes. I don't know all the factors, okay? So I don't judge Will as a person. Well, maybe I did judge him a little bit, but not that he's a bad person. I just, probably from watching the character he portrayed in the movies, I just thought he would handle it differently. So he didn't handle it the way I perceived that he ought to handle it. Does that make him wrong? No, it doesn't. But this is my perception of Will. Someone else may have seen that and perceived him as handling it perfectly. Now, does that change who Will is? Does that change Will's character and attributes? No, it doesn't. It's just two people's different perception. Same Will Smith, but each person perceiving him different. It doesn't change Will. It's just our perception. And it's the same way with God. Let's say there's one God if you believe in that, okay? Now, many people have different perceptions of God filtered through the experiences they have gone through in life. Maybe if you grew up with a punishing, angry father, like I did. My dad was good. He did the best he could, but he drank a lot when I was younger. Your perception of God may be a mean and punishing God. And that's the perception I had of God for many years. A God of wrath, of fire and brimstone. And boy, he was going to get me. Every time I did something wrong, he was just making a list of everything I did wrong, and he was going to punish me. And I was afraid of hellfire and damnation and all that stuff. And I didn't even grow up in church, but that was my perception of God. That is not the perception of God I have today. Now, does that change who or what God is? No, it doesn't. It's just my perception. Does that mean that I'm correct about what God is? No, but the God you see is the God he will be. Think about that. The God you see or the God you perceive is the God he will be. I don't really believe, well, I can't say I don't believe in an outside God, because I do. But I believe God is within all of us. When I look into your eyes, I can see God. When I listen to what you say, I can hear God speaking to me. Maybe it's something I need to hear. Maybe it's that I need to be more patient, more tolerant. When people are being extremely, how do I say, mean to me, as I've experienced with some of my ex-wives taking my kids, that was God speaking to me. In those situations, I was being told to let go, to allow life, God, the universe to unfold, to let things happen. We're told from the time we grow up that we have to make things happen. And yes, we can make things happen by our self-will. But a better way to do it is to set an intention and then just do what you're intuitively guided to do. Do what's in front of you. Do the next right thing. I've been able to achieve everything I've wanted in life. I've achieved some things I didn't want because I spent too much time thinking about what I didn't want. And guess what I drew into my life? Exactly what I didn't want. It was the fear. Fear is a magnet, the same as faith. As I said, I don't subscribe to any particular religion. I'm not a religious man. I do believe in God, but I almost don't like to use that word because it connotates religion. And so many people have their own religion. They're against this religion. They think they're the only ones going to heaven. I believe someone said a long time ago, the kingdom of heaven is within us, among us. It's here now. It's not something in the afterlife. I've experienced heaven on earth and I've experienced hell on earth. It's separation from your center, from your higher self, from God, if you like. And it's pretty desolate, miserable, empty, and depressive. It's pretty hard to get out of that, but the only way you can get out of it is not to look for something outside of yourself, but to look within yourself. How did you get there? What brought you there? Usually it's self, manifested in various ways. I remember one night long ago in my apartment, a one-bedroom apartment, and I walked away from the mirror. I just finished looking in and I hated what I saw. I hated what I saw. Was it my body? Was it my physical appearance? No. It was what I had become. I had only thought of myself all my life and what I wanted, what was good for me. And that worked for a long time. And I had come to the end of myself and I was by myself. And I knew exactly why, because I only thought of me. And shortly after that, a few months, I met some people and they wanted to help me feel better, to have a better life. It wasn't a group of church people, but it was a group of people. All they wanted to do was help me to feel better, to have a better life, to have an abundant life. They didn't want anything from me. They didn't want me to join their church or put some money into the basket or anything like that. They stood out there in the cold with me on a January night here in Missouri, and it was cold, and helped me and wanted to meet again and help me again. Because they knew by service, by helping me, by trying to help me feel better, it would return to them multiplied. Multiplied. And that was the first place that I really learned about unselfish love. A love that asks nothing in return. And through the years, what I have learned about that is when I do that for other people, if I meet someone who's miserable or struggling or having a hard time, if I can offer them some kind of help, or at least have the intention of trying to help them, it comes back to me multiplied. And I learned that from other people. So I could say, with me, that would be God spoke to me through other people. As I said, whatever your conception of God is, my conception, I really have no words to describe what I believe God is. And I think we try to describe something with our limited vocabulary, which is unlimited. Not too many people who believe in God would say God is limited. It is, or he, I don't even like to use the pronoun, is unlimited. You know, in Spanish, he, the pronoun él, is the same thing we use for it. I think we would be better off to say it instead of he, at least in English. It's a neutral pronoun. Don't want to get into the pronoun thing, but if God is all in all, then he's he, she, it, that, they, whatever. So anyway, but what does it matter what pronoun we use? I don't even want to get into the pronoun thing. I don't quite understand that either. But your perception of God is what he or it's going to be in your life. As I said, if you think he's a loving, giving, abundant God who wants to shower you with love and gifts, then that's exactly what he'll be. If you think he's a mean, punishing, vengeful, jealous, angry God, that's something I never could understand. How could God be so small as to be angry or jealous of me? Angry at me or jealous of me? I just can't grasp that concept. If he is an all-encompassing, powerful, intelligent, wise God, I'm going to do something down here and he's going to be jealous if I go off and chase a woman or idolize some woman. I don't think so. But what I do tell you is this. What that means to me, it's just my perception, is if I go off worshiping something else and get away from my center and what's important, what my mission is here in life, then I will have a separation from the power which enables me to do the things I do during the day, to raise my 6 kids by myself, to have this video channel, to have a podcast, to have guests come on. And by the way, come on, let me see, come this Saturday. We have Trey Morgan. He's a dating coach from Florida, Orlando. He'll be joining us this Saturday, and I'm sure you will find value in what he has to say. He's very grounded, and he's got some good stuff. So that's all I have for today. I'm not going to talk about God anymore. I hope this has been of value to you, and like and subscribe. I'll see you later.